Sharael, Maldine. The morning was cold enough that my hands trembled around the enameled cup Cullen passed me. I'd teased him about the tea, more leaves, less steeping, but the warmth was a small comfort against the chill. He blew across his own cup, but then I saw it, the way his expression shifted. His head tilted slightly, ears catching something mine had not. I frowned, confused, until his voice cut sharp, low and urgent. "Get your sword." I blinked at him, startled. I hadn't heard anything. Not yet. Then his voice snapped louder, a command this time. My cup slipped from my hands, spilling into the fire with a hiss. My heart jolted as Cullen drew the razor, the blade thrumming as it left the scabbard. And then I heard it too, heavy footfalls. They emerged from the trees, towering, monstrous shapes. My chest tightened, breath catching in my throat. Oh, gods.
Welcome back to the Dark Razor Chronicles. I'm Mike Carmel, your host and author, and this is Season 2, Episode 8. The night has passed, but calm never lasts long. For Cullen and Sharael, a morning fire turns into their first true trial by steel, and the lesson cuts deeper than either of them expected. Krista and Dan find themselves pressed into patterns of work, rules, and quiet reckonings, where even holding the line feels like standing on the edge of something dangerous. Two stories, one truth. Survival is never simple, and the choices you make linger long after the moment has passed.
Colin. Sharael lets out a startled squeak, followed by the sharp ping of her tin cup hitting the ground, its contents hissing into the fire. The creatures stop abruptly, towering over us, easily half a meter taller than me. They're monstrous, their faces a blend of human and boar, with long curved tusks jutting from their lower jaws. Their skin is dark, thick, and lathered with sweat, muscles bulging like melons under rough, piecemeal armor, leather mixed with scavenged metal plates. They carry massive bastard swords, each with a reach of over a meter. Across their chests they wear black leather sashes, tight belts around their waists. 5 vertical red lines slash across their breastplates, a crude insignia. I recognize the style. It mirrors the rank markings of the Cadian reserves. These two are low-ranking soldiers, but they're not Cadian.
"Orcs?"
she says. There's fear in the word, but also a strange note of curiosity, like she's seeing something from a story come to life. I know the word, orc, from tales, but now, staring at them, the stories seem woefully inadequate. They breathe heavily, their eyes wide, darting past us into the woods. It hits me. They're not here for us. They're running from something. But that changes as they refocus, locking eyes with us. One glances at the other, and in an unspoken agreement they both shift. Their postures harden, and they draw their massive swords. I glance at Sharael. To her credit, her sword is in hand, though she's stepping back, tense, giving them ground. She's trying to create space, but I know we can't let them flank us. I split off, moving away from her, forcing the orcs to choose. They separate. One heads for me, the other for her. I hope her mastery of swordplay theory translates to real combat, because I'm about to be tested. I grip the razor tighter, my fear sharpening into focus. The orc charging me wastes no time. He swings his massive sword overhead in a brutal arc. I bring the razor up just in time, deflecting the blow with a metallic clang that sends shockwaves through my arm. I half expected the razor to shatter, but it holds. There's no time to think about it. It will either survive this fight, or won't. The sound isn't quite the clash of metals, but something close. The bastard sword slides past me as I divert its speed and strength into the turf. The force of the attack is shocking, and now my peril is fully realized. I see an opening, but to sink my sword into another's flesh, I hesitate. The orc straightens and swings its turf sword up at me. I block with one hand, ready to kick at its exposed middle, but the creature's strength exceeds my expectations, nearly knocking the razor from my grip. This orc has the strength of 2 men. If not for the razor feeling light as a feather while blocking with the weight of a man, I would have lost it. Maybe it surprised the orc too. There's a flicker of confusion as its brow lowers in a human-like gesture. I need to gather my wits. I need a new strategy. I'm aware that Sharael has engaged her opponent. The clash of swords rings out, quicker, sharper sounds than my own fight. I risk a glance to my right. She's retreating, keeping the brunt of the creature's force out of range. Good girl. I block again, my heart stopping. I'd lost track of my enemy, but this block is better than the last. I realize I've instinctively gripped the razor with both hands, my strength doubled. The orc roars, its voice low and resonating. Mucus wets its snout as it steps in for another blow. Between breaths, I whisper words of calm to myself, trying to force focus, but force is wrong. This is real. No takebacks, no penalties, no yielding. If I fail, it's my peril and likely Sharael's. I must become the swordsman I was trained to be. Another swing from its right. I shift into the second twig of the second branch in the tree of life, moving to raise its weapon up and over my head. But I'm overpowered again. The flat of its sword nicks my scalp. The tiny graze is jarring. White light and stars explode in my vision as I stumble backward. I retreat, blinking tears of pain as my head throbs. This isn't for the first 3 branches. This is the storm in the trees. Honor, courtesy, manners, their chances to disengage all seem stupid now. Meaningless. I face death, not just my own. Granda's bitter words echo in my mind.
There is only the 4th, Cullen. Only a fool would rely on anything else.
He was right. My legs shake, sweat dripping down my brow. The beast charges again, intent on tackling me. I jog backward, buying time to choose my next move. Sidestepping, I swing the razor. The blade glances off its side and the orc stumbles, falling face first, dredging up turf with its uneven armor. It's already pushing itself up, but I don't wait. I turn toward Sharael. She's weaving through trees, the orc close behind her. Too close. I sprint toward them. The orc raises its sword for a killing blow, and I shout loud, sharp. It glances back as I lunge in with a clumsy jab. The razor slices through its leather side plate, grazing flesh. A squirt of orange blood spills out as the orc bellows in pain, swinging at me. I duck, retreating as its blade crashes into a tree trunk. I've done what I needed, bought Sharael time to retreat. I spin back toward my first opponent. He's up, already charging. I'd misjudged his speed. Behind me, the other orc lets out a howl. Sharael must have landed a blow. I don't dare look. The orc swings from his right. I meet it with a full block, feeling the weapon's recoil vibrate through the razor. I remember thinking about this in practice, how to use the backward momentum. I don't hesitate. I twist my torso, turning the recoil into a backswing. My acrobatics training kicks in, my body nimble as the razor arcs around. It's an outlandish move. No one would risk it in real combat. But the orc isn't ready. The razor comes low in an upward arc. For the first time in my life, I strike to take flesh. The razor bites into the orc's wrist. It screams as its sword spins away. A fountain of orange blood follows the blade's path. The creature stumbles, its severed hand tumbling to the ground. I glance at Sharael's fight. Her orc still chases her, a streak of orange marring its armor, but their exchange tells me her blow was superficial. I turn back to Stumpy, my opponent. He's already recovered, clutching his sword in his left hand, blood flowing freely from the stump of his right. But he isn't charging. He's waiting, cautious now. And so am I. I move quickly, no time to delay if I want to keep Sharael safe. I feint a backhand slash from the left, the razor light as a feather in my two-handed grip. The orc moves to block, but I twist, shifting my angle, and bring the blade down hard on its left sword arm. The razor slices clean through near the elbow. Before the severed limb even hits the ground, I drive the razor forward, plunging it deep into the creature's chest. The orc's death cry is guttural, high-pitched, like a pig at slaughter. Up close, I can't ignore it. This isn't some mindless beast. It's humanoid. It wouldn't surprise me if it could think and speak like a man. I grip the crossguard, twisting the razor with all my strength. I hear ribs crack as blood pours across the blade. Yanking it free, Stumpy slumps forward. I spin to Sharael. Her orc looks tired, no, winded, but still dangerous. I shudder to think how strong these creatures would have been if they hadn't been winded when they first arrived. I shout, forcing the orc to split its focus between me and Sharael. It pivots, trying to keep us both in sight. This time as I see its face, its tired eyes, I feel the old instincts return. The ones from the first and second branches. Honor, courtesy, manners. I lower the razor, offering it a chance to retreat.
Krista Smithy, Part 3, The Yard. Weeks slide by like water off the wash table. The field's cut shorter than when we arrived. I know, 'cause it were my hand that guided the scythe. My feet know the lines Mr. drew for us. Dan's counting got quieter. Mornin' sits grey and mean. Pump squeaks at the water table as I shoves it down. It kicks back up. I shoves it down and Dan keeps time, 1, 2, 3, because numbers makes him feel like he got a hold on the day. We splash faces. I flick a little at his hair for fun. He does the scowl, then the not scowl, which is worse because it means he's decided I'm forgiven without a tally. Goals are still small ones. Keep the roof. Do the work we said we'd do. Stay inside the lines. And don't put our hands where look can't see 'em. We carry. We don't keep. We hold. We don't chase. Back porch is set up same as always. 2 chairs where the missus sets bowls all neat like. The stave rack standing to the right. Each of the practice swords all oiled clean enough to shine. The missus got that cloth over her shoulder and a look that got softer over the days. We still ain't earned enough to eat at the table. Heel of bread, eggs, stew just warm.
Spoons down when you're done. Don't chatter steel,
She says. "Yeah," I says. Through the door slit, I can spot the hearthside cabinet and the silver and red star glinting on the second shelf. It fills my head like it wants to stay. I look away before my face starts telling stories. Stepdad's already in the backfield. Boots dark with dew. A line scratched straight across the close-cut grass. To the rack, Dan and me choose our practice staves. The one I been favouring might be only wood, but it's shaped like the real thing. Long and slim with balance all proper. The point's rounded, so it won't punch through no one, but they still carved the detail into it. Fine lines marking where the steel would narrow to a killing tip. Oak, hard and heavy, so it sings in the hand when you turn it. Almost makes you forget it's just for practice.
Feet under. You plant, then you move.
I does. I want to move pretty, but pretty don't hold lines. He taps the ground with his stave.
This is your hold. If threat leaves, you let it. You do not chase.
Hold versus chase, I says, like it's mine to repeat. First 10 minutes. Heel, ball, slide, stop. Boring as peeling spuds. Necessary for sup. Dan's clean with it. No splash, no extra. I try a shoulder feint, 'cause I got an itch to scratch.
Too much.
Mister says, eyes on my ankles. He nudges my shin with the tip of his stave. Just a tap, but a hard truth.
You'll chase if you practice like that.
Yeah, I says, and makes the feint smaller till it's a thought, not a promise. We runs it again, then again. The words start living in my calves. Plant, set, stop, recover. When I land a perfect cycle, he tips me a nod, just a hair. That's him cheering. We breaks for chores. Pump and rinse the bathing barrel. Wipe and dry stack the bowls mouth down so dust can't find 'em. She watches how the water behaves, not my hands. I keeps it neat so the floor stays dry.
edge toward the rag.
She says, even though I already done it.
Good.
Her voice got smiles more than her mouth. The woodshed hinge we patched weeks back starts speaking again, so we fixes it proper. Dan holds the board square. I set the nail angle with my thumb and teach the latch to sit quiet. By midday, we're running wood from the cut pile to stack. I makes the last toss land sweet in the corner, 'cause tidy endings keep the missus' eyebrows at rest. We cuts near the ridge path out of habit. There's a pebble on it again, smooth river stone, placed, not fallen. It sits dead centre like it were watching us, an eye that don't blink. Leaves it, I says.
Yeah.
Dan says, but I can feel the questions. Afternoons more lines with mister. The sun a right bastard, sweat runs cool down my back. Mister slows us down when we hurry and speeds us up when we gets too comfy. When I go to pats the knife at my belt out of habit, Mrs. says from the doorway,
Don't chatter, Steele.
"Yes, ma'am," I says out of habit. She catches me more than I cares to wish. I gots to think about it though. I touches my knife often, I'm guessing. Her way to break that habit? I press my hand to the cloth instead. We takes water on the porch. The ridge is quiet, but my bum fluff still prickles with the thought of that plain coat man. "Watchman been by?" I ask.
Town stays quieter when you two keep to this side of it.
Mrs. says, not unkind. She's getting to know us well. Mister adds it like he's talking weather.
Paper going round about voluntary searches. More rumour than writ.
"Voluntary's the word they use when they ain't got the right papers," I says. He don't correct me. Don't agree neither. Just watches my boots, which in his language is the same as saying I'm right. After evening sparring, we're setting our practice staves back on the rack when I spot the watcher up on the ridge. Plain coat, wide brim hat, same cut as the shape we seen before. He don't come down yet, just stands where the path bends. Mister's eyes mark him without turning his head. He leans his stave against the back porch post, doesn't touch steel, doesn't say go in. We don't. We stand where we is like people who knows to hold, knows where lines are drawn. The watcher comes down the path, boots scuffing like before. We have to go through to the front to meet him. Stops at the foot of the steps like he's met a line before. He lifts a hand slow so we can spot it's empty.
Evening. Name's not important.
Not to you, perhaps.
I've got papers.
Papers for who?
Mister asks, calm, clipped.
For those with interest in a certain token.
The man says and taps his coat like there might be a pocket inside.
Word says, a star sits hush in a cabinet. I don't aim to search. I aim to ask.
My heart does a goat kick against my ribs. The silver in the cabinet puts itself behind my eyelids. Dan's sleeve finds mine, not grabbing, just clothing cloth. He's needing the contact. Stepma steps only so far as the doorway.
You've asked.
He waits a breath, the way folk wait when they think waiting's pushing. When nobody fills the air for him, he nods slow.
So I have.
His eyes slide to the right, toward the ridge path rock.
Runners use pebbles. Pebbles say there might be eyes tomorrow.
Pebbles can say what they like, I says before I leash my mouth. We hold. We don't chase. He doesn't grin, doesn't frown, tips his hat a touch that ain't respect.
Luck keep you then,
He says, and turns uphill as easy as he came.
Luck don't got ears.
Dan mutters. Maybe it got eyes, I says, and we just showed it what to looks for. We don't talk more. Still, Stepdad wants to walk the line with us slow. Counts paces, porch to line to tree, tree to wash side.
Again.
He says, when my stride gets greedy.
Feet under.
I plant.
Gather step.
I set.
Stop.
I stop.
Recover.
I do. This time, my ankles stay quiet.
Good.
He says. He looks at Dan's stance and says,
Half an inch.
like halves of inches save lives. Dan moves half an inch, and we both pretend we can't feel the life-saving part of it take root. We eat back porch again. Same rules. I tucks my feet so I don't drip stew. Dan lines our cups because cups are like lines in this house. When I sets the last dish on the wash table, Stepma lets her mouth think about a smile. Night comes down like a blanket that ain't yours, but you're allowed to borrow. We carry our loaned ones to the woodshed, check the door latch twice, lay the blankets. Knife under my head, ledger stub in Dan's boot. The day feels used up right, except for the pebble sitting on its rock like a thought we didn't think.
Krista,
Dan says in the kind of whisper that means he's thinking big.
if they ask again.
We gives the same answer, I says. Ours, not theirs.
What if Luck ain't looking?
Then we makes like she is. I close my eyes. Never made Luck a she before. I hope she likes it. I see silver. See the man's hat brim, but not his face. We hold, don't chase. I says it 'cause it feels like if I says it enough, it becomes. We're almost asleep, when the yard gives us its new something to hear. A soft knock on the front porch, then another, counting again. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. Then an added beat like a last thought. Dan breathes my name but doesn't finish it. I answer without words. My hand finds his in the dark and we let the numbers pass through our minds like cold water. We don't touch. We don't chase. We hold.
Cullen, Avon. I feel the old instincts return, the ones from the first and second branches. Honor, courtesy, manners. I lower the razor, offering the orc a chance to retreat. It doesn't understand. I make a shooing gesture, urging it to go, but the orc sees an opportunity. It raises its sword high, swinging down with brutal force. I lunge forward, ducking beneath its arc. Too close now for its blade to matter, I drive the razor up, piercing through its leather breastplate and into the soft flesh beneath its ribcage. The orc's pommel crashes against my shoulder plate, glancing off as I push the razor deeper. It staggers, its bulk sagging against me, nearly dragging me down. I grit my teeth, yanking the razor free. The blade tears through flesh and armor before slipping out, blood gushing in its wake. The orc stumbles sideways and collapses. I stagger back. The excitement makes me dizzy, and I nearly fall as I backpedal across the clearing. Sharael's orc still moves, its fingers clawing weakly at the grass, but its voice is silent. Sharael leans against a tree, her head bowed, her sword hanging limp in her palm. Fear spikes through me. Is she hurt? My training kicks in. I force myself to check Stumpy first. He lies face down, unmoving. I jog over, despite my trembling legs, and thrust the razor through his back. No reaction, no flinch, dead. I turn back to the other orc, approaching cautiously. Its body is still. I thrust hard into its back, just to be sure. A high-pitched squeal erupts from it, nearly making me jump back, but I hold my ground, watching as its final breath rattles free. I twist the razor and yank it out. The release makes me stumble, nausea bubbling in my stomach, but I force myself to stay upright. Sharael. She hasn't moved. Sharael. My voice cracks and I force myself forward, my legs shaky beneath me. No response. I drop to my knees beside her, my heart pounding. I brace for the worst. But she's alive. Her face is pale, her eyes filled with tears, but no blood, no wound.
I've never had to do it.
Nor I admit, my voice barely above a breath. I'm on all fours now, the razor resting in the grass beneath my hand. I fight back the urge to sick up.
Corbin, help me. My father was always right. He told me it's easy to observe, but hard to do the deed. I thought I could. After all my observations, I really thought I could do it. I never want to do it again.
I don't either, but I keep that to myself. I lie back on the grass, a forest edge at my side, and close my eyes. My chest rises and falls in deep, heavy breaths. I feel Sharael shift, and her arm drapes over my chest as she curls in beside me. She seeks comfort. I want to offer it, but my mind spins, replaying everything that just happened. I relive it all, the strikes, the choices. I see the moment I severed Stumpy's hand. As a boy, Granda made me practice on goats, but they were already dead. This was something else entirely. The sensation is different. That difference haunts me. My body shivers at the memory. I can't dwell on it. They attacked us, not the other way around. I knew this could happen. I'd never attack another out of aggression, only to defend. Slowly the nausea fades. A soft sniffle near my ear reminds me that Sharael is still beside me. I find myself judging her again, comparing her to the wind, strong in bursts, fragile in others. How can someone so young be White Circle? We lie there, both of us silent, listening to the forest. I strain my ears for any sign of others. Eventually, Sharael stirs. She sits up slowly, wiping her eyes with her sleeve. I follow, rising without hurry. She stands, moving to retrieve her sword. She nearly stumbles over a severed orc hand, orange blood staining the grass. Wordlessly, She wipes her blade on the nearest corpse, once, twice, 3 times, before sheathing it. I watch as she sniffs back tears and kneels by one of the orcs. She fumbles at its belt pouch, tugging awkwardly, her movements shaky. She struggles to roll the heavy corpse, grunting with effort. I almost rise to help, but stop myself. Let her do this. She finally manages it, prying at a thong around the orc's neck. Her hand trembles as she pinches at the leather strap, clearly trying not to touch the creature's dark, mottled skin. She tugs at something beneath its armor, a pouch, and struggles to break the leather thong. After several failed yanks, she grabs the orc's belt knife, slicing through the strap in one clean motion. The knife looks expensive, far too fine for the orc. Sharael drops it to the turf without a word, focusing instead on the small pouch in her hands. She spreads its mouth open, pouring the contents into her palm. She doesn't speak, doesn't even glance at me. Her expression is unreadable as she studies what she's found, and she dumps the contents back into the pouch with a clink of metal. I catch a glimpse of gold coins before she shoves the purse into her belt. She moves to the next orc, her hand steady despite the tremble in her voice earlier. This time, she doesn't flick the body, too much gore beneath, but grabs the purse by its thong and yanks it from around the orc's neck. I stop watching. Lying back on the soft turf, I let the sun's brightness fill my vision, shielding my eyes with an arm. The world feels too quiet now, almost heavy.
Here.
Something thumps against my breastplate. I lift my arm to see a medium goatskin purse resting on my chest. It slides off and lands in the grass.
Take it, Cullen. We're going to need money.
Her voice is weak, uncertain, and it only deepens my confusion about her. White Circle, the most powerful ruling force in the garden before the Cadians took over. She doesn't seem like one of them. I pick up the purse, massaging the contents through the leather. Coins and something else. Curiosity gets the better of me, and I dump everything into my palm. 17 gold dollars, as many silver, a handful of copper pennies, and 4 small red gems, each the size of my little fingernail. I can't take this. It's a fortune. Where did they get it?
Raids. That's what they were known for.
Her use of past tense doesn't escape me. Is this the first she's seen of orcs? The stories said they were extinct even before Lork's time. If she'd spoken of them as though they still walked the world, it might have been the proof I needed that we'd fallen into the past. But she looked as startled as I was.
That's where we'll pause for tonight. Cullen and Sharael have faced their first true fight, and neither of them walk away unchanged. Across the yard, Krista and Dan are learning the same hard lesson, that holding the line can be just as dangerous and just as necessary as crossing it. If you're enjoying the Dark Razor Chronicles, a quick review on Apple or Spotify helps more than you know. Patrons get early access and bonus content, so join the stream on Patreon if you'd like to go deeper. And for the novels and everything else, visit mikecarmel.ca, that's mikecarmel.ca. Until next time, keep the edge steady, your oath true, and remember, sometimes survival means holding when every part of you wants to chase.